Yes, people, big up Wagwan, where you deal with, where you dep on, up top, blessings, you don't know all of the good thing them. You see me? Now, first things first, I do want to say thank you, much appreciated to everybody who supports this channel. We just hit 170 subscribers on the road to 200. Very much appreciated to everybody joining up on the journey and continuing to show them support. It does definitely give an extra push to keep going. You see me? Now, yes, place cold, people. I think it's supposed to snow again today, so that's why I'm this heavily coated. But I think in the last video we spoke about expectations for the rest of the season, primarily the Premier League season, and we said we must be getting top 4 from here at least, because I don't really like the whole push for top 4 thing if unless the club is like at that stage. Right now I think Manchester City Football Club in this day and age should be aiming for far better than top 4 in terms of like objectives, but based on the situation we find ourselves in, that's a reasonable expectation to make in terms of salvaging the rest of the season. Now, in addition to that, and you can look at this as kind of like a preview for the PSG match tomorrow. This is being recorded on Tuesday, of course. We have PSG away tomorrow as our second to last group stage game in the Champions League. I think we need to win that match because I want to see us go on in the Champions League. Now, are we going to win the Champions League? I don't know. It's unlikely at this point. We've had a very poor season. Our run of form has not been great. In recent games, I believe we're 6 matches unbeaten. So that is good. That does show a turnaround of form. But games like against Brentford, Everton not too far back, even some matches that we won, like Leicester, West Ham, like they still show some troubling signs. And you think in the Champions League against Europe's elite, it will become very testy. You think about the Feyenoord match, I think about the Sporting match. These are games where even Juventus, they look at us and they're like, yo, we can get something out of this, even if we go into the match as favorites. So it will be difficult to go on and give a credible account of ourselves in the Champions League. But I don't care about all those contexts and all that right now, because this is the fact of the matter, yeah? PSG is not a good side. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound presumptuous or hype or arrogant or anything, but and I have not watched PSG a whole lot this season because I don't watch League One and I don't watch all their Champions League games either. But I believe I've seen 2 of their games in the Champions League this season. And if those are anything to go by as to what we should be expecting tomorrow, this is not a good side. Even last season, when I've seen them under Luis Enrique, I've not been convinced. I've really not. Like, for me, when we were going through this farm and people were looking at the Champions League and saying, oh, like, we need to start picking up wins because we soon play PSG. And I'm like, that's one of the matches I'm more confident for. Like, I remember watching them against Arsenal. I think Arsenal won either 1-0 or 2-0. And I was like, this team is stinky, yo. Like, it almost, and this, bear with me for this comparison, but it almost reminds me of our Falls 9 season, yeah? When we didn't get Kane, and we went into the season again and said, yeah, we're going to just do Falls 9 again and then readdress getting a striker in the summer. No, we won the league that season, and it was overall, like, good. We were still like a proper team, but there were some games in there that it was like, oh my gosh, how we never scored that? We create like 6 clear-cut chances and we end the match scoring nothing. And it's like, this is not good. That's kind of how PSG looks to me. I don't think their defense is all that great. I think structurally they could be a lot better, but they're not the worst structured team. But like going forward, like creating like proper chances and then finishing them off, I don't think they have a whole lot of quality in that facet. So for me, throughout this whole run, I've been looking at PSG and thinking, if we get to that PSG match and lose, That's when I start getting worried, because we're not supposed to lose to this version of PSG. This ain't it. Trust me, this really is not it. And I think, it's right to be cautious going into this match, because anything can play, and we're not exactly looking at things from a position of power anyways. We're not very good either, if you're looking at the form. However, I do think tomorrow, during the game, or even by halftime, people will be looking at PSG and thinking, why were we really worried about this team? Like, we should be packing this team away. And if things go how I expect it to go, we've been picking up form at a good point now. We're just coming off a 6-0 win away at Ipswich, which is a decent side. They beat Chelsea just a few I think game week before this one, at the last game week. I think they beat Chelsea. No, I think it's a few game weeks ago now. They beat Chelsea 2-0 at home, and they hosted us, and we put them away very comfortably. Very comfortably. So much so until they just started crumbling and started, falling apart, giving us chances, making mistakes and all of that. So that's just based on the pressure that we were putting on them. And I know Ipswich is a team that most likely will get relegated this season. So I'm not singing this off the top of the mountain, right? And it's a bit disingenuous to compare Ipswich to PSG, but trust me, people, it's going to be so funny if PSG just turn their form around tomorrow and they actually play really well. In which, if they do, I will give them their props, I will give them their credit. But honestly speaking, man, I cannot remember the last time I've seen PSG play and been impressed. And that's not to say that they haven't had good games, but like, they just, I don't know, man. This is a match now where we have to be looking at and saying, yo, we can't put this team away. And to be fair, Juventus, they were there for the taking as well. They weren't in a good run of form, and I don't think they had a spectacular game. They were better than us, but I don't think they had a spectacular game. I think if we were on it, like, we wouldn't have lost that much. I think they were a beatable side when we played them. And I think right now, if we were to play Juventus right now, we would have at least gotten a draw. Now, I think Juventus then was still better than PSG now, because I do watch Juventus way more consistently than I watch PSG, for that matter. And I think they're way better than PSG. I think they would slap PSG by at least 2 or 3. So the fact that we've improved since the Juventus game, I think should be a comforting sign to us to go to PSG away, where I doubt they're feeling very confident for the match against us, looking at us picking up form, knowing the players that we have now. We have some players fit. There's a feel-good vibe around the club because of the new signings coming in, and the possibility, or the opportunity now to get optimistic again. So I think we're really in for a nice match tomorrow. I hope the team go out there and actually make us proud again, qualify us for the next round, and then we know, all right, we have Chelsea after this. Right now, my focus is not really on Chelsea as much. We know they're coming up because we've seen the fixtures, but full focus on PSG, hopefully, and then we can sort out Chelsea business after that. I think this is the match, yo. People are saying Bruges, we can qualify against Bruges, which is fine as well. And if we get a draw against PSG, it's not the end of the world. Going to the Chelsea match, still unbeaten, get something against Chelsea, and then Bruges. I don't even know if I would look at Bruges as like worse than PSG right now. I haven't seen any of Bruges this season or anytime recently either. But I don't know where to rank them in terms of PSG. Am I looking at that as it should be an easier game than against PSG? I don't know, because I really don't rate this PSG team. I'm just being honest. I know they have some good players in there, yes, but I just don't rate the construct of this team. I really do think we can get something from them. So I would much rather us to qualify now against PSG than to save it against Bruges and turn it into a final. Even though I think the team can still pull through under those circumstances, I do think that we can definitely get it done this game week tomorrow against PSG. Now, I appreciate everybody tuning in to listen. Please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, share the video to at least one person. Definitely get us to 200 subscribers. I'm out.